keep doing.
Halves some checkdowns. The guy we haven't heard of.
On it.
Bill, the red zone turnovers, 5 of them, trying to make a play there.
Got it.
Obviously, Pacers trying to make a play there, but the interception came back, became really good. Is he someone who showed out, sort of catch your eye and get the chance?
Yeah, fundamentals or techniques. I just answered that.
Today.
Tastes like anything else. If that was you, then get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Snap, Lopez to his left, throws, it's caught, and Hall did not get in, and Virginia wins.
After further review, the ruling on the field of the runner being short of the goal line is uphill. That is the ball game.
Virginia is now 3-0 in overtime. And for the 4th straight ball game, Steve, Tony Elliott's team goes all the way to the wire and then some to find the win.
Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. That is Max Gorin. He is sitting in for Victoria today. She's smarting from, where none of us are conditioned to handle a Panthers loss these days. We don't even know what to do. Panthers had won 3 in a row. Yeah, no, we know what to do. Carolina was that close. That close to winning their first ACC game of the season. They were that close. So I'll bring this up later, but I was sort of impressed. I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting them to be in that game, and they're less than a yard away from winning. So
honestly, I think they were better than Virginia. Like, Virginia was pretty fortunate to get out of here with a win. How many times did Carolina take points off the board, their own points off the board? They fumbled at the end going into the end zone against Cal, right? With 3.5 minutes to go. Would have been a go-ahead touchdown. They probably go on to win that game. Maybe they don't, but certainly have a better chance of winning it than losing it. And so ultimately you don't. You lose the game. And then, who was I forget who it was, reaching out, trying to get the ball in the pylon, and he loses control of the ball, I don't know, a foot, maybe less, 8 inches before it hits the pylon. You can see the ball coming out of his hand before it touches the pylon. When I first saw the play, I went, oh, no, that's a touchdown. He hit the pylon. And then I looked at it again and went, oh, no, man. Not only isn't that going to be a touchdown, it's not even going to be their ball. It's going to be a touchback, which is still the dumbest rule in the sport. I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why you would get the ball. You would put the other team on the 20. They should get the ball just outside where the fumble happened. When did he lose control of the ball? That's where Virginia should start with the ball. Like fumbling it out of the back of the end zone. Nah, man, that should be it's terrible. Anyway, is what it is. I thought there was a lot of good to what Carolina did, but we'll talk about that as we move forward. Today, let's start.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Max, you're a movie goer? Are you a movie watcher?
Let's get it started.
somewhat of a movie watcher. I know more or less than any other person.
Who was in Reality Bites? I know that was a movie, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I've not heard of it.
Wow, what a terrible setup then. I have no idea who was in Reality Bites. It was a movie, though. I'm almost certain of it. I could be wrong. Anyway, there was a movie named Reality Bites, which, frankly, now is irrelevant. But that's what happened yesterday. The reality of who the Panthers are and who the Bills are set in. The Panthers are not restaurant quality. I know they had won the 3 in a row. Let's examine. Miami, awful. Absolutely awful. And the Panthers were down 17-0. Dallas, defensively, horrific. And that was the Rico Dowdle show. More on him in a minute. The third straight win, frankly, would have been a loss had the other team been even mildly competent. But that other team was the Jets. And set aside what happened this weekend in Cincinnati in the fourth quarter. But the Jets were, in back-to-back weeks, the worst offensive football team, I believe, in the history of the NFL. So the Panthers didn't have to do much, and they won that game 13-6. It was a terrible football game. That's the anatomy of their 3-game winning streak. So it's not that the Panthers are incapable. I think they are capable. But they're not anything close to good enough to beat Buffalo, especially if Buffalo's got their eye on the ball. They're not going to beat Green Bay this weekend unless Green Bay takes their eye off the ball. And Green Bay is trying to win a division and maybe have the best record in the NFC. And I believe they will be fully focused on what they're trying to do. And they're not going to beat a playoff caliber team, again, that is paying attention. And that's okay for now. That's not terrible for now. It's always going to be a work in progress. Like, we'll get to their remaining schedule in a second. Buffalo's not even operating at full throttle, it doesn't seem right now. And that game, I'm not saying it was there, because it wasn't. But it was 6-3 in the second quarter. Then it was 12-3 after that 64-yard James Cook touchdown run. If James Cook wanted to, you watched the game, right, Max?
Yeah, unfortunately.
If James Cook wanted to, he never had to leave the middle of the field between the hash marks. Right? It was just like it seemed a straight dive up the middle, and nobody touched him. He's gone. Like, where'd the players? Where'd everybody go? I expected to see a safety or something, but no, there was nobody there. He only went out to the right side to, I don't know, to mock, to wave. I'm not even sure what James Cook was doing. He could have stayed right between the hash marks all the way into the end zone, 64 yards. That made it 12-3. Couple of punts. They exchanged punts. Hey, look, the Panthers defense still there. It's 12-3. You get the ball back, and then I'm not even sure what Andy Dalton was looking at. You know, sometimes an interception comes out of, well, you know, he just didn't see the safety. You know, maybe his vision was blocked, and, man, poor Reed didn't see the safety coming over. He had his eyes focused. Like, how was that pass ever getting over the defensive end? Ever. Whatever. And then it was over. Got it down to the one, and we were done.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, you don't need a tush push there, Josh. Just get your 240-pound body, move forward. That's a touchdown. Like that, he didn't even go down. He just stood up, and he just walked into the end zone. Anyway, Andy Dalton, who started, which obviously not a surprise, once Bryce Young really wasn't doing much, he was never going to start. But didn't Andy Dalton look like the worst version of Bryce Young in the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of things that Bryce Young has struggled with in the past. Turnover issues.
Right, the fumble, right? Fumble in the pocket, taking sacks, and then why did you even throw that ball?
Yeah, but it was kind of looked like old Bryce Young though. What it really did is if anything was a win or anybody won out of that game, it was Bryce Young because it showed how much better they are operating with him under center, at least as of recently.
Right. No, they are better with Bryce Young than Andy Dalton, but it showed to me that the problem isn't the quarterback, and I'll get to that in a second. I have a question. Because I watched the games against Miami and Dallas and the Jets. And I watched enough of this one to know this. If we can see that for right now, Rico Dowdle is significantly better than Chuba Hubbard, if we can see it, why can't the head coach? Though there is such an easy explanation for going against you never lose your job due to injury. If you wanted to have that as a mantra, there is such an easy workaround. Right now, it's a long season. Chuba's going to get plenty of touches. Right now, Rico Dowdle is too hot to not feed the ball. You start the game against the Jets with Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdle was way more effective running the ball, and you still didn't change your mindset. And then you do it again. Why is it so easy for us to see and difficult for Dave Canales to see? Rico is not the change of pace. Rico right now should be the feature. And who knows now if it even matters, to be honest. Because now it has been 2 full weeks since Rico has gotten the ball as a steady diet. And guess what? Their offense sucks again. Just because, I shouldn't say just because, and we could, although I don't know if we could prove it, trace it to a simple decision of, we're going to, Chuba's our guy. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you have one guy who's averaging 5 or 6 yards a carry, and you have another guy who's far less effective than that. And I understand you signed him to an extension last year. He's a team leader. He's a captain, whatever. But at some point, you have to make the decisions to help your team win on the field. And Rico Dowdle went from back-to-back weeks of over 200 scrimmage yards to now kind of taking a back seat, or even if it's an even split, they're doing the weird drive-by-drive thing. Even at least show some flexibility to make some subs within the drive just to get a different look.
Can't do that.
I'm not rocking with the drive-by-drive kind of platoon of it. It's just not working.
No, I can almost understand the drive-by-drive thing. I mean, I'm not in favor of it, but I can almost understand it. Except that when Andy Dalton throws an interception on the first play of a drive, that shouldn't be Rico Dowdle's drive. But that's what happened. So, again, we have one guy who's significantly better right now than the other guy, even if over the course of the season they would be even. Nobody is suggesting for a second that, oh my God, Chuba's not as good as this guy. But right now, and again, we don't know anymore because we're 2 weeks removed from it. But after that Dallas game, it should have been very easy to simply say to Chuba, and I said this last week, even after the win over the Jets, should have been very easy to say to Chuba, look, it's a long season, man. We got however many more games. Not 11 more. I can't do math. They were 4-3 after the Jets game, right? We've got 10 more games. Man, you're going to get the ball a ton. Right now, this guy's too hot. We're just going to we're going to feed him. We're going to get you in, let you work back into the rhythm of the offense. But we're going to just flip it right now and use Rico first, and then you'll spell him. And if Chuba Hubbard is the professional that I believe he is, he would have been, can't deny that. I just watched more than 200 scrimmage yards 2 games in a row. I think we would have all been he would have been okay with that if he were a professional. Again, I'm going to guess he is. But that's not how it happened, and now you see the offense is what it is, and they were lucky that they played the Jets 2 weeks ago. Flat out. Lucky they played the Jets, because had they played a competent, even a bad team with competence, had they played the Saints 2 weeks ago, they lose the game. And the Saints are no good, but I do believe that they are competent. Anyway, we're going to hear from Dave Canales here in a second. The Panthers are 4-4. There are 9 games left. I think there are 5 of them that they cannot win under any circumstance. Green Bay this week. The Rams come to town in a handful of weeks. Tampa, Seattle, and Tampa to end the season.
Well, does whether or not they win the Rams game, is that affected by whether or not Puka Nacua is playing or not for the Rams? You think even if he's out, they still can't win?
Yeah, they will not win. They will not win these games. The one game, depending on what Seattle's status is in week 16 or week 17, the 16th game, maybe Seattle's already clinched a playoff spot, right?
And the fact you're catching a West Coast team at home.
Right. Maybe you can win that game. And again, if Tampa has already clinched the division and you're going to Tampa and Baker Mayfield doesn't, who knows? I have no idea what the circumstances are. But to me, in a vacuum, they're not winning those 5 games. I think there are 4 they can win. They could win at home to New Orleans, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. They could win at Atlanta, because Atlanta, if you can lose at home like you did to Miami, you can lose to anyone. I think they can win at San Francisco, believe it or not, because San Francisco is so banged up all the time, and I don't understand why. And I watched whatever they did this weekend was non-competitive, right? And at New Orleans. Yeah. I'm not saying they'll win any of those games. I think those are 4 games they can win, of which I think they'll win 2. And we can decide at the end of the season whether that's progress or not. But every game is a referendum, right, on everything. And I keep getting asked, well, after they won 3 in a row, how do you feel about Dave Canales? And I'm like, yeah, I still don't think he's any good. And the Rico Dowdle thing is enough for me.
Yeah.
You can't recognize that. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. Here's Dave Canales on the game.
What they did in the run game today, unbelievable performance by them, by James Cook. He had a fantastic day and made some big runs. They consistently owned the line of scrimmage and made it challenging for us. We were not able to get our run game going today. Went to the pass game, and that's where the turnovers happened. And pretty clear story right there. We made it really hard on ourselves against a good team, and made it a really challenging situation for us. So, would love to see better execution in those things, in those areas, and be able to move on from that.
Yeah, I mean, James Cook had over 200 yards rushing. He averaged over 11 yards a carry. I mean, it wasn't just the 64-yarder or the 21-yard, whatever that was, another touchdown run. I mean, there were huge chunks of yards all game long. I mean, but that's the Panthers' run defense we had expected.
Yeah. And,
Derek Brown made it look better over several weeks. I know he got banged up and didn't come back in the game, which is smart. Let me credit Dave Canales for doing something bright there. So you should never put him back in the game with an injury, but Buffalo decided, we're just not going to leave anything to chance. We're just going to pound the ball right at Carolina because we don't think they can stop us, even though you should have been doing that to them, and you obviously decided not to.
Yeah, we didn't see the same run defense we saw the last couple of weeks, and obviously the strength of opponent plays a hand in that for sure. But
who you play always matters. Always, always matters. Here's the thing. Against the Jets, when there's no threat of a passing game, and there hasn't been with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Yeah, Breece Hall has to be throwing the ball for there to be a threat.
Well, Fields was actually we'll talk about it later. But against Carolina, the Jets' offense was the worst offense I'd ever seen And that's on the heels of the game against Denver in London, where I thought that was the worst offense I'd ever seen. I give Carolina some credit for that, but ultimately, who you play matters. And you can look better against the run if there's no threat of a pass. And I think that's what happened in New Jersey last week. Because Buffalo and Josh Allen will always present the threat of the forward pass, it became more of a challenge. Anyway, let me just get the Tar Heel stuff out there quick, and then we'll break. Will Brinson's going to join us on the other side. Bill Belichick was right 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago today, he had the press conference after the bye week, and he said, we're improved. And there was pushback because we can't see the improvement. We can't tell. We don't watch practice. All we knew was the last time we saw you, you were getting annihilated by Clemson. Embarrassed by Clemson. That's the last we saw. All we saw was every Power 4 team that played against Carolina was wasting them. How do we know what improvement is? We're not smart enough. What I asked was, explain where you see the improvement versus where we don't. Of course, that's just screaming into the clouds. But for me, watching the game against Virginia, and I thought we saw competence against Cal. I don't know if the Cal's any good. Hey, Virginia might not be any good either, especially if you judge the last four. They've won all these 4 games, but, man, they have not looked good doing it. I think at least defensively, Carolina does look improved. I was impressed. Virginia, who's got a good offense, I thought struggled to move the ball against the Tar Heels. Tar Heels. Two words, Tar Heels. Some people will get that. Bill Belichick, we get better.
We just keep getting better. It's just little incremental stuff. It's everybody doing 4 or 5% better times however many people that makes a difference.
Okay. Virginia really couldn't run it very well. I thought, Chandler Morris was at best mediocre. I thought, all the back and forth this year, or the last week about how Morris wanted to come to Carolina, but they weren't interested. And wait, no, I never said I wanted to go to Carolina. We never looked at him. Whatever. Who cares? Maybe Carolina was right. Maybe he's not that good. What was my takeaway from the game? I was unimpressed by Morris. He was better against State in week 2 than he was yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe Carolina was right about him, or maybe Carolina's defense is getting better.
Yeah, there definitely was some visible progress, and they actually look like they'll be getting a little more help. Joe Bryant, high school OT, just poked his head in here. UNC just got a commitment from a 4-star cornerback.
Nice.
That decommitted from Penn State, Jaziel Hart. He is ranked the 558th overall prospect and number 52 corner in the 2026 class.
There you go.
According to the Rivals industry ranking.
He will not help them like this week.
No, not this week.
He will not help them at Syracuse. Anyway, I thought they were better than Virginia. 2 things. One, like we saw a week ago, we saw another fumble right before a touchdown. That sucks because you were going to get points. And I give them credit. I give Bill absolute credit for going for the 2-point conversion. You have a chance to win it right there. You go for it. Don't leave anything to chance. 50-50 proposition. They just didn't get in. Or were they a foot short? Right?
Maybe less than that.
Yeah.
I feel like if and it was Benjamin Hall, right? I feel like if he extended it at all, or at least taps the pylon, he might have an argument that he could get in there.
So, credit to the Tar Heels for looking like a better football team than the previous week, and maybe they'll get a win. They have 4 or 5 games left. 5 games left. I think they can win 2 of them. Not this week at Syracuse, although I don't know. Maybe I put Syracuse in they can win 3 column. Syracuse on the road, Stanford at home. That's winnable. Wake Forest on the road, that's winnable, even though Wake just beat SMU.
I think they have a better chance of beating Syracuse than they do at beating Wake. Wake's defense played one of the best games I've seen them play in years on Saturday.
Yeah, but SMU was due for it. You're not going to win every ACC game you ever play. I don't think Carolina's going to beat Duke or NC State at the end of the season, but who knows? Anyway, we got a break. Will Brinson's going to join us on the other side. We will talk about the Panthers and the rest of week, whatever this was in the NFL, next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
KC Concepcion, 25-15 down the right sideline, touchdown. Texas A&M, punt return for touchdown for Concepcion.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, home for all of your favorite action in the National Football League. And tonight, FanDuel giving all customers a 30% profit boost token so you can enjoy Monday Night Football even better. Make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. You got the Chiefs, big favorites at home against the Commandos. By the way, -700. That's way too crazy. Stay away from that. There's no value in it. Pick it anytime. Touchdown score, Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, who knows? FanDuel.com/Adam Gold, FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Claim your profit boost token now. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Did you know that for 20 years, Lenovo has been shaping global innovation right here in our backyard? As we celebrate 2 decades of delivering groundbreaking technology, we want to thank North Carolina for being at the heart of our story. Cheers to the next 20 years together.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send us in.
This is Adam Gold.
See Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorn on the ones and twos. Panthers did not extend their winning streak to 4. Nobody should be surprised at that. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. He sorts the Sunday pile, and nobody should be surprised that he is with us on a Monday, since that is the norm. Just a couple of very quick things on the Panthers' loss to the Bills. The Bills looked like they were not going to leave anything to chance. They kind of simplified things and just said, we're just going to let James Cook pound the ball right at Carolina, not buying the defensive improvement. But is it that hard? I said this earlier, Will. Is it that hard to recognize that Rico Dowdle should be, at least right now, your feature running back?
Yeah, it is a little weird, right? Like, you kind of wonder if it's like a mandate maybe from ownership or the front office just because of, like, the Chuba Hubba deal that they did and Rico's relative cost, that they decided that it's like, we got to split these backs up. It's like Rico's ran for like almost 400 yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
Just, it's okay to just give him the rock and let him run. And I mean, now he wasn't going to help stop James Cook.
No.
And all the chatter last week about and a lot of it from me, so guilty as charged, about how the Panthers were now a good run stopping team, quickly destroyed by a very angry Bills team that lost 2 games going into its bye.
Right.
Figured everything out, ran the ball effectively, and did exactly really what they needed to do to remind everyone they are indeed a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, they didn't even try to open up the game by throwing it. If they threw it enough, it wasn't like Josh Allen threw it 6 times. Well, it was like 12 and 19, 155 yards. Shakir is obviously their best pass catcher, but they did what they had to do. They decided they were going to run it, and good for them. Like the Jets, who, again, back-to-back weeks, it was the worst offensive team I'd ever seen in the National Football League. And so they couldn't throw it. It's easy to have a good run defense when you know the other team absolutely cannot competently throw the ball. Can't explain what happened with the Jets the last quarter in Cincinnati, but that's another matter altogether. I mean, it is
the NFL week to week, man. I mean, it's like,
it is.
Justin Fields and the Jets can do literally like nothing, right? And then all of a sudden, hey, let's score 39 points and beat the Bengals. I mean, it's like the Bengals defense obviously bad, but just classic NFL where week to week, if you're expecting, this sort of consistency from some of these teams, good luck.
Right. I'm going to work backwards from last night. For the rest of our conversation. When we do a forensic on this season, are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to rue the loss to Cincinnati a week ago? Not that it caused yesterday, because the Packers are, I think, one of those teams. I think the Packers could genuinely be in the Super Bowl. And I think the Steelers are a good team, but not a great team. But I think that when you miss an opportunity to beat what I think is a bad team in Cincinnati, even on the road for the Steelers, that those are the reasons you miss the playoffs. Not losing to the Packers, but I do think that because I don't think we talked about it. And Mike Tomlin was kind of bent out of shape over the Browns trading Joe Flacco within the division, and Flacco balled out against Pittsburgh. Maybe Pittsburgh's just not that good.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are just kind of like it's a Mike Tomlin team, right? Over the last 5 to 7 years, maybe, where they are going to be above 500 because that happens every year, right? They are going to win some games that maybe they shouldn't because of coaching, because of great defensive performance. Now that Cincinnati game, is kind of a hallmark, though, of Mike Tomlin teams, where, and Pittsburgh Steelers fans have complained about this for since Super Bowls, right? He just, every year there seems to be one of those regular season kind of sleepwalk games. And, it's a divisional matchup, so that makes it tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that game, losing that game on Thursday night to the Bengals, with a quarterback on like 3 days notice, and that defense that the Bengals clearly don't have, it's just, it's a backbreaker. And I agree. Like the Packers were favored coming in. The Steelers had, a lead and looked like they were in command of the game until the fourth quarter explosion by the Packers and Tucker Kraft going absolutely nuts on National Tight End Day. But I think. Yeah, if you're going to be a team that makes the playoffs, you have to win the games where you are favored in, especially against teams that lose their quarterbacks like the Bengals. And then you needed to kind of hold serve on Sunday night in order to justify that loss, or at least have it even out. And they didn't do that, and now they're potentially in trouble with if Lamar Jackson come back and get healthy. They're probably still a playoff team, but I mean. It's like it can go either way with Pittsburgh, I feel like.
We're going to get to the Ravens in a second. It is, I think, good and bad with the Ravens. But the other part of the Packers' win over the Steelers is that there are times when Jordan Love looks like old Aaron Rodgers. And last night was one of those games. Not just on the run throws, but on the run from weird angles to the point where, why is he throwing that? Oh, it's a perfect pass. And that's what Rodgers used to do. He used to just flick the ball, and you think, why is he doing? Oh, look at that. It was exactly where it needed to be. How many times did Jordan Love do that last night? 4, 5 times?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Jordan Love for me is that, and this is, you say the Packers could be a Super Bowl team. I think the Packers have been, I don't disagree at all. But part of that reason is Jordan Love. Now, we know they have a good defense. They've really sleptwalked through a lot of these games so far this season. Impressive to put your foot down on the gas in Pittsburgh, rowdy environment, late to pull away with the win, a handy win, double-digit win, even if you were trailing for a lot of the game. We're in a fight for a lot of the game. What makes them such a possible Super Bowl contender, I think, is the same reason that Aaron Rodgers Packers were always a Super Bowl contender, is that you have a quarterback who, when he's very streaky.
Yes.
And that's in good and bad ways. He's evened it out a lot where there's more of a steady floor and these high spikes. But if they get to the playoffs and Jordan Love goes on one of these heaters, they're just going to be really tough to beat. And he's shown that he can do that in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sort of performance you saw from him last night, if he strings together a couple of those in the postseason, the Packers are a problem for anybody because they have a great run game when Josh Jacobs is healthy. And then that defense can elevate itself, to the upper echelon of the league.
There, no doubt. And it looks like their wide receiving core is starting to get healthy again.
Yeah.
And, of course, the tight end. Where do teams find these guys?
I know, it's crazy. Tucker Kraft, it's what's weird. I think I'm pretty sure Tucker Kraft was the second tight end drafted.
Yes.
In the draft, they took Luke Musgrave first,
right?
And then Kraft has just turned into an absolute monster. I mean, he's an athletic freak.
Yep.
You get him his yak is ridiculous, and you saw it on display last night. Real nose for the end zone, and they don't have that alpha number one receiver. But they do have a lot of really good complementary pieces. Christian Watson coming back, and then Kraft can serve as sort of a wide receiver one in that offense.
Watson, Dobbs, Golden. They have a lot of different guys they can throw to. They actually all look to me to be the same type of receiver, but he's got a ton of them. Kraft and Musgrave is also not terrible. So now let's get to the Ravens. So the good is that they figured out how to win a game without Lamar Jackson. Let's just stick with the good first. The defense looked good enough against Chicago. I don't know, maybe Chicago was looking past Baltimore. I can't even imagine that. But we saw bad Bears as well. Or was that just the Ravens finally figuring out how to play defense?
Yeah, I think we've seen this a little bit this year, and I mean it's not it's not a no bleep Sherlock, but it's not
right.
Einstein either. These teams coming out of their buys, and they look pretty sharp, and they've been good against the spread. And, it's because you do get that break. And I think for Buffalo and Baltimore in particular, two teams coming into the season that were like top 3, top 5 Super Bowl favorites, they get healthy. They have really good coaching. They, game plan against their next opponent. And you see, even without Lamar Jackson, and there's all that discussion about the injury stuff. I don't think John Harbaugh's fudging the injury report, right? He was just trying to get Lamar Jackson back on the field. I think you just see that the game planning and the healthiness for the Ravens and for the Bills, where it's like, okay, they needed that break when they got it. And sometimes that's the sort of luck you get from a scheduling perspective. Like the Ravens just needed a bye. They needed to get some guys back on the field. And then, that's a Bears team that had looked really good on defense for the last couple of weeks, maybe sort of a letdown spot too. And I think you credit it to Baltimore, credit it to the coaching staff. And they had to find a way to get a game without Lamar Jackson at some point, right? Because otherwise they were going to get so far back, even though nobody in that division is really pulling away. I mean, it could end up being a 8-9 win division title. It wouldn't be surprising at all. Now, I think Baltimore probably rightfully the favorite to win the division still.
They're minus money again to make the playoffs. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. He sorts the Sunday pile at Will Brinson on Twitter. All right, one more thing about this, because John Harbaugh can say what he wants, but middle of the week, they listed Lamar Jackson as full participant, right? Right, and I think on Friday,
at the very least, Harbaugh said before the bye he was coming back. He was like, Lamar's gonna be back, and then it was like he's practicing, and then I think
it was Thursday,
Saturday, and but Saturday afternoon, it's like, oh, Lamar might not be going. It was a complete 180 from what we expected.
So here's what the line did: the line opened at 3.5 when everybody thought that Lamar might not play. Then, when he was a full participant, the line went up to 12.5.
12.5. I think it was like 6.5 or 7.5.
I definitely saw it at 11.5, because I commented that it had dropped to 11.5, because I saw it at 12.5, but because I talked about it, and it closed at 2.5.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
It's crazy.
So,
and the reason why the NFL is looking into it, and good on the NFL for doing this. I had this discussion with some buddies recently where it's like, we saw obviously with the NBA what's going on with Chauncey Billups and everything. It's like you have now entered into a world where you are partnered with multiple legal sports books who are like the official sponsor, and I've harped on this before, but it is really important. Those injury reports cause the lines to move, like whether players are in or out, and each player when you have power ratings, when professional gamblers do it, they build a certain rating for each player. So when Lamar is out, the drop off from Lamar to Tyler Huntley is worth X points to the spread. So that's why those things are moving around like that. But the key is, because you are embracing legalized gambling, you have to, if you're the NFL, make sure that these injury reports are on the up and up, because if they're not, it can open up, the questions that get asked. And then, and we've seen it. Like there are people involved with professional sports. Like a sitting NBA head coach was arrested by the FBI. So it's like they have to be really careful with these, and this is not a great example of it.
Correct. All right. Now, hopefully we'll have time for 2 more things, but maybe just one. So apparently, if the Eagles throw the ball, their offense is better, because in the last 2 weeks, they have thrown the ball more than they have run it, and their offense looks awesome again. And although Saquon Barkley did have a great game, so we shouldn't completely discount it against the Giants. Maybe it's just the Giants, but they lost to the Giants last time. So to me, throwing the ball first, or at least not ignoring it, is certainly, and involving A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and your tight ends, certainly helps the offense.
Yeah, no question about it. And look, there are plenty of analytical studies that show that teams should be more aggressive throwing early because you throw to score and then you run to win. You shouldn't, it's like establish the run. Yeah,
Right.
it's great if you can come out and be a physical, dominant running team and pound the ball down somebody's throat. But just like the whole idea that if you can run the ball well, then it sets up the pass, right? I mean, that's true. But if you throw the ball well, it sets up the run. And you saw that I talked about this last week, where it's like, if that's what the Eagles are going to do moving forward, and they're about to have their Week 9 bye, but great 2 games going into the bye for them after that skid. If they're going to be aggressive on offense throwing the football, it's going to make life easier for Saquon Barkley,
Yes.
who was dinged up but looked awesome, had that 65-yard touchdown run early in Week 8. I think we're going to look at the Eagles completely differently than we were even like 2 weeks ago, where we're questioning the offense and questioning whether this is a team that can make a run in the postseason. If they're doing this on offense, they can win another Super Bowl pretty easily, and I think you'll see the odds adjusted for that.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. And plus, you keep A.J. Brown happy. That should be the goal. That should be the goal.
Yeah. A.J. Brown's good. Get him the ball. He's a grown-ass man.
I mean, I hate the fact that we see a wide receiver complaining even when things are going well in terms of winning, and we have seen that from wide receivers, including A.J. Brown. But if he's that good, and he is, then we should probably, try to keep him happy and smiling. And
Brown was even out in this past week, and they still took the ball.
That's right.
Like you got Goddard, you got Devontae Smith.
Yes.
That's the thing is you have the capability of being this explosive offense. Why would you bother trying to limit yourself?
All right, so here's my final thing for you, Will Brinson, CBSSports.com senior NFL writer who sorts the Sunday pile for that esteemed website. You and I talked about, at the beginning of the season about that Vegas survivor pool. Started out with a little bit more than 18 million people. More than half the pool disappeared already, with the Falcons and Bengals totaling more than 51% of the remaining 4,200 plus. My pick this week was the Chiefs, who are home to Washington without Jaden Daniels. Should I be nervous?
No, you should feel great because the Chiefs are going to win tonight. I think that line's jumped up to like 11.5 or 12,
yes.
And understandably, no Jaden Daniels. It's going to be tougher with Marcus Mariota. The Chiefs will find. I think the Chiefs will probably cover. Honestly, I think they're going to win by 14 points. They're sort of like the Eagles. Rashee Rice back. Everyone's healthy. They look like a totally different team than sort of the struggling squad we saw early in the season. Defense is good. They're going to flex their muscles at home in prime time, and you got 50% of the field wiped out. You feel great about the Chiefs.
I would feel great about the Chiefs. By the way, I just want to make the correction now. I just did a quick search for it. You were right. It was 6.5 that it went to. So from...
Yeah, I was like, but the week before, it was like 12.5 against Houston, and then Houston ended up being favored when Lamar was out. It was like 11.5 or something like that, something huge, and then it cratered down, and Houston ended up being favored, or maybe a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, like Lamar is one of those players. There's like, it's a quarterback. A quarterback's going to do it regardless, right? But Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, those guys are going to move lines like 7, 8, 9 points.
Yes. Yeah, and Lamar moved it about 4, but even
excuse me. Yeah, I think the reason it was only like a 4-point movement is that they were still they didn't want to put the Bears up at like plus 10.5 because if Lamar doesn't play, the books are exposed and you have a giant 8-point middle. So they try to be they won't push it past 7 until they're sure that somebody's in.
All right, sir. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. Sir, I will talk to you next week, my man.
All right, buddy. Talk to you next week, man.
You got it. When we come back, one-timers, questions, answers, in that order.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book and your home for all of your favorite NFL action. And how about this Monday Night Football, Washington in Kansas City. Washington is without Jaden Daniels. KC does have Patrick Mahomes. And you, because you are with FanDuel like I am, you can get a 30% profit boost token on tonight's action. So whatever you want to do, boost it by 30%. Boost the money line by 30%. Boost the total by 30. Do whatever you like. Boost it by 30%. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy. You're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We learn about an exciting new health initiative in Wake County called Precisely You, which uses DNA to transform the way we approach health. The goal is simple but powerful. Help people prevent disease, detect it earlier, and improve health outcomes. Wakia Ellis is Vice President of Nursing for WakeMed Raleigh campus.
With Precisely You, we're looking directly at each individual's DNA. That lets us identify personal genetic risks for diseases like hereditary breast and ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, and even heart disease that might be linked to high cholesterol.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. David Fleming, ESPN, has got tons of bylines. ESPN, Sports Illustrated. He's an author, multiple books. His 4th book just came out about the Dallas Texans that went bankrupt back in the 50s. But is also doing some investigative work for Pablo Torre Finds Out. So we'll talk to David Fleming about what's going on over in Chapel Hill. Anyway, that's next hour. And right now, it's question and answer time.
All right, so we've got a couple of people asking questions about this. We got one from the YouTube chat here. Any injury updates on the Carolina Hurricanes after the bevy of injuries they have had coming back? They had practice today. Do we have any injury updates on the Canes?
Shane Gostisbehere was on the ice, not in a yellow non-contact sweater. So the assumption would be that he would play tomorrow night. Dominic Fensore will be the extra defenseman. Nystrom and who's it? Nystrom and Riley. No, Riley is still skating with Walker. No Miller, no Slavin. So Charles Alexis Legault was sent back. So right now, my guess is we'll see. I don't know how they're gonna pair up, but so we'll get Gostisbehere back, and that's good.
That's good. And I saw it's Miller maybe back soon. Slavin probably a little while longer.
I have not, because I wasn't at practice today. I still have not fully investigated.
Those are via the coach. Although he said, you know how it can be with Rod in injury timelines. It can be a bit vague.
See if I can interpret. What Rod he said Shane Gostisbehere could return as soon as tomorrow. He practiced today. He's gonna, unless something happens between now and tomorrow, he is I'm sure is going to play. But I'll try to figure out I'll try to interpret what Rod said, but my guess is no Miller, no Slavin tomorrow for sure.
I will go to one about the Carolina Panthers. What in the world is Dave Canales doing with being so pass happy and the running back rotation with Chuba getting more carries than Rico?
Nobody understands it either. All I could say is I'm with you. It should be simple. It should be simple to simply feed the ball to the guy who is running the best. It is apparently significantly more complicated than that. Therefore, we are incapable of understanding. That's it. That's all I can come up with. We, our simple minds, just cannot comprehend. We'll run it back. We'll talk about the Hurricanes next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here for my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Quick story, my son and I are going back and forth over which football team that we're going to be fans of this year. I insist Detroit is the most fun team to watch, and therefore I'm staying with them. He wants to be a fan of a green team in New York, which is dumb. You know what else is dumb? Paying closing costs when you buy a house or refinance your mortgage. That would be dumb because it takes away the freedom to refinance again when the rates come down. If you get a mortgage and you pay closing costs and you spend $5,000 just to get the mortgage, when the rates drop and you want to get a lower rate, are you going to pay closing costs again? You have to keep that mortgage for like 50 years. Not really, but close. Miller Lending. Don't ever pay closing costs because you don't have to. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts, or watch on YouTube.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you could say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found the path to recovery that worked for me. The road to recovery is different for everyone. Find the path that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Empty set here on 2nd and 7. Panthers working left to right. Bills have 6 players on the line of scrimmage with Shaq Thompson now dropping back. That pass is tipped. It's picked off. A.J. Epinesa, 10-5, all the way down to the 1-yard line. Bills brought some pressure. Andy Dalton rifled it. It hit Epinesa, bounced in the air. Epinesa caught it and then runs it back all the way to the 1-yard line. That's 2 turnovers by Dalton in this first half. Chuba Hubbard with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Maybe that's why Chuba Hubbard was in the game. Is he a better tackler than Rico Dowdle? It might be. We don't watch practice, so maybe Dave Canales. See, these are the questions that we get asked. Why would Dave see this when we don't? And maybe that's it. If Rico was simply a better tackler, he would play more. Hi, it's the Adam Gold Show. That was obviously meant sarcastically. Max Gorin is producing the program today. Hope all is well in your world. I know you're a Panthers fan. Was this weekend awful?
It was a tough weekend. I'm an NC State fan.
Right.
That's not going.
That didn't go well. We're going to talk about that here.
Canes lost on Saturday. Panthers blowing out on Sunday. The Hornets did split this weekend. Actually, should have won both games.
Right.
Hornets did win yesterday, though, so that's something positive to build off of.
Little player argument in the locker room at halftime.
Sounded like leadership to me.
Right. LaMelo Ball reading the riot act to some guys who might not have been giving it all. Me, and, we talk a lot about the Hornets with, various people on this show, whether it's Brendan Whitted or Kanata Edwards or at times Brian Geisinger. And I am not the biggest LaMelo Ball fan. I'm not. But that's growth. That is legit growth from him.
I feel like at some point he's starting to hear the people that say, he's not a winning player,
I've
stat
said that.
padding, whatever you want to say. But I think he's been capable of that the whole time. It's just the supporting cast that has been a revolving door for the Hornets.
It has.
And then if you bring in someone who's talented, they end up getting hurt. Like Brandon Miller's already hurt.
Yeah, again.
Made it through one game this year
Yes.
before he has a left shoulder soreness. I'm still waiting to see if there's going to be any update on that, or if it's going to be like an AC joint or something and he's going to be out forever. Hopefully not. But LaMelo continuing to show that not only does he have the talent, but also might have that leadership quality as well.
This is honestly, it's the first time we've really seen it, and that's what's so impressive. So yeah, did it take a while? Yes. If that's what is happening, then I am absolutely on board with that. So good for him. So it made your weekend like I'm not even bent out of shape over the Hurricanes losing in Dallas.
No,
we're going to
not
talk
even,
about
yeah.
that in a second anyway. All right, let's roll it back. The interesting thing there is that we came back with the Panthers and the interception, but that's going to be like the fourth or so thing that we get to here. Because I do want to start with the fact that a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago today, when Bill Belichick had his first press conference after the bye week, after getting absolutely curb stomped by Clemson in Chapel Hill, Bill said, we're definitely getting better. And our friend Pat Welter from WRAL TV5 was like, you just lost $1 billion to 3 or whatever it was, and you look terrible doing it. You were down 35-3.5. How can you tell us you look better? And I thought that was fair. I do think, though, that Bill could have done better with how he presented it, but he doesn't care. He gives no bleeps for how we perceive things. Zero. And that won't change, even if it should. But they nearly woulda, coulda, shoulda won at Cal last Friday night. 2 Friday nights ago, I guess. And Saturday, they could have easily won the game against Virginia. I thought they were the better team. But they didn't. They again took points off the board for themselves by fumbling the ball going into the end zone. That happened early. They turned it over in the red zone. The interception was, what are you doing, Gio? Like, he was a mixed bag. There was a lot of good from Gio Lopez. He made throws. I'm like, well, it's a good throw. And then he does that, which, Anyway, defensively, though, they look improved. And here's the head coach on how the defense kind of stymied Virginia a little bit.
Stop the run, get them the long yardage. Did a pretty good job of keeping them in the pocket. Thought we rushed well. We got pretty sharp inside. I don't know about all the other points and yards and everything else you're talking about. I didn't see it today, but I guess I came against somebody else.
Well, I don't even. Bill is selectively dismissive about stuff. But maybe he's feeling himself here by saying, yeah, see, we are getting better.
And we just keep getting better. It's just little incremental stuff. It's everybody doing 4 or 5% better times however many people that makes a difference.
All right. I want to go back to the beginning, not of the season, but in the summer when we were talking about this. This is my read on what the Tar Heels would be this year, because we have no idea what the talent is like, but here's where I thought they would have an advantage with Belichick as the head coach. I've said this for a long time, that most coaches lose a game or two during the season that, like, how did you mess that up? Now, a lot of those teams will also win a game or two that maybe you didn't expect. I thought that Bill wouldn't lose games in the margins. I thought that the trick to Belichick would be anything close. The little things, the details would go in their favor, and they would get 1 or 2 wins more than you would expect. And to be perfectly honest, this year it's gone the other way. In those two games, Cal and Virginia, they've lost the game in the margins, which I honestly didn't think that would happen. But that is absolutely what has happened. So that has been a little bit of a surprise. In these two games, also history repeated itself. Twice, once at Cal, then last week against Virginia, Saturday against Virginia. A soon-to-be touchdown, fumble right before crossing the goal line, ends up being a touchback. Twice. You win the Cal game if Leacock holds onto the football. I don't know if you win the Virginia game because the touchdown where the runner fumbled trying to touch the pylon with the ball happened early. But then you go for two, and I love the idea of going for two. We're going to talk about that in a second. He falls maybe a foot short, maybe less than that. But is that close?
It's just the same issues keep biting them, and it's execution stuff. It's like they got to learn how to win.
Yeah, like every team does. You need to learn that. But in those cases, I don't think those two things are learning how to win as much as, like, it's odd that both those things happened, in the same way. To me, it's almost bad luck, right? Like in the case of Leacock, that's a good defensive play. I don't know, 3 inches before the goal line. In the case of, trying to reach out for the pylon, that's maybe trying to do a little too much. So again, some of that is bad luck. Some of that is, you know what? So it just happens, and nobody is really to blame. So you get into overtime. Virginia scores the touchdown to go ahead. I was impressed as hell that Carolina responded. And then they go for the 2-point conversion to win. They scored on 4th down, didn't they? I believe they scored on 4th down to score. No, it might have been 3rd down. It might have been 3rd down when they scored the tying, almost tying touchdown. They still needed the extra point. And they went for 2 to win it in the first overtime. And I absolutely respect that because, honestly, it's probably your better odds of winning. I got one play to go 2 yards to win. Give that to me every time. And Bill was asked why he decided to do that as opposed to kick the extra point.
Yeah, trying to win the game.
And just, I guess, why that versus trying to, extend?
Just trying to win the game.
I mean, that's the right answer, I think. And then he was asked about the play, the 2-point conversion pass attempt, which was completed but fell short of the end zone.
Hey, Coach, about the 2-point play, who was the number one option on it? It looked like Gio was kind of forced out of the pocket. He had to go to Ben as sort of a check down.
It's whoever's open.
Oh, man. Bill, take the NFL, man. You just got to give us more. You just got to give them more than that. That's all right. Tar Heels have 5 games left. I think they can win. 2 of them. Maybe 3, but
I think that's optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say would. I actually think they'll win none of them. But they might build. I think
they beat Stanford at
home.
Could
beat Stanford. They better. Because the other 2 are at Syracuse and at Wake. Because I don't think they're beating Duke and I don't think they're beating State.
And given how they've played recently, it's not as out of the question for them, at least to beat Stanford, especially at home. But at least they have a chance to be more competitive. We kind of
it was good.
We're not sure about his comments about how they were making progress because we hadn't really seen it. But over the last couple of weeks, they have looked at least more competent.
Last 2 weeks, that's all I've asked. Look competent. Maybe they've turned the corner. All right, I have a question. I'm just going to guess here. Mason Heinschel. Is that German for Dan Marino? Does that... I don't know what the translation of Mason Heinschel is. But when you turn Mason Heinschel into a 423-yard, 3-touchdown passing day. That's bad defense for NC State. Who is Mason Heinschel? When did State become a bad? I know they were bad defensively last year.
Yeah, but also, you lose Tony Gibson. You change your whole defensive
Yeah, but they had
scheme.
Tony Gibson last year.
That is
and they
true.
were bad last year.
Well, they lost Peyton Wilson.
They lost a lot.
They've lost a lot of great defensive players over time, but
Isn't that normal for college programs?
I suppose so. It's just I don't know. It's kind of been on a decline recently, and this year it's been porous.
No, it was bad last year, and look, injuries always play a role, and I'm really just kind of trying to find the humor in all of this. It's been a tough year for NC State. I thought if they lost at Pitt, and I didn't think that they were going to win at Pitt, but I thought it would look more like what Pitt football normally looks like, which is we're going to run the ball all over the place, maybe get a couple of turnovers and beat you that way. And they simply, it was like watching Dan Marino. They threw the ball all over the place. That is unfortunate for the Wolfpack, who I still think there are some wins on their schedule. They can still go to a bowl game, but it's not going to be anything close to the season they thought they were going to have. And I'm not saying that they thought they were going to win 10 games, but they ain't going to win 8. It's been a rough year. We'll hear more from Dave Dorn a little bit later on. Quick thing, because you mentioned the question in one-timers about the Hurricanes and will Miller come back? Will Slavin come back? Rod said essentially that Miller was close, right? Slavin not so close.
Yes,
Miller close.
Miller closer than Slavin.
Yes.
Gostisbehere at practice today, could potentially play tomorrow.
Gostisbehere will play tomorrow unless he suffers some sort of soreness or too much swelling coming out of practice today. But he practiced without a yellow jersey on, and he practiced in their top 4. For all the people who said, well, the Hurricanes' power play could sure use Shane Gostisbehere, I would like to point this out. The power play was pretty much booty with Shane Gostisbehere, but as I've said this before, we put way too much importance on who is at the blue line on the power play. Way too much. It's about the forwards. And I'm going to make this as simple as possible. We have to figure out a way. I'm saying this, hopefully people will listen. We have to figure out a way to get more player movement out of the group that's on the ice. The puck movement isn't even the problem. It's the player movement. They simply pass the puck around the perimeter, which becomes easy to defend, not to mention unthreatening as shooters. They have to get the puck in the middle of the offensive zone, and they have to get the puck behind the net. They need player movement. Please.
We thought we were getting a
player movement,
some power play, a boost with Ehlers, and hasn't really been there yet.
Ehlers wasn't on Winnipeg's top power play unit, I don't believe. He was on the second unit.
He didn't get he got a lot of kind of, well, I guess not a lot, but he kind of got buried in terms of ice time,
Yeah, he was a second line winger.
Compared to some of their other kind of scoring players.
Right. He was a second line winger at Winnipeg. He's an incredibly talented player. Nobody's knocking the signing, but he was more of a second line player, second unit power play guy. And I'm not, again, I don't find him out of place, so I'm not blaming him for anything, and it does look like I think he's playing much better. But Carolina's got to move bodies. Forget about moving the puck. Move bodies behind the net, in the slot, get bodies in front. They haven't done that yet. All right, when we come back, David Fleming, ESPN, author, Pablo Torre finds out, and maybe we have figured out what the problem is in Chapel Hill. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, the mark of a good team is being able to win when you're not at your best, and Carolina is right now doing that, not at their best. But when they have needed it, they have been able to summon things, whether it's Seth Jarvis getting a power play goal, or Sebastian Aho making an elite pass that helps Alexander Nikishin get his first goal of the season. As long as Carolina keeps doing that, they'll mitigate the loss of Jacob Slavin and win games.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
Hey, it's Amanda here, back again with my friend Coach Peak. How can compound interest, first of all, what is it, and how can it work against us?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing when you're trying to grow money. It's a bad thing when you've already borrowed money. Because compound adds interest to the interest you already got. So if you're growing money, that's good. You earn interest this year. Next year, you're going to earn interest on your principal balance plus the interest you already earned. Therefore, it compounds.
That's like a Roth IRA in a good way.
Or any kind of savings account where you're compounding. Make sure it's not simple interest. Simple interest means you're not earning interest but once a year, and it's on the principal only, not the interest that's added to it.
Well, what's bad compound interest?
Bad compounding is when you get like a credit card every single month. The interest you didn't pay, they add interest to that plus the balance. It grows like crazy. You've seen that with any debt you have. It's not a good thing.
No.
So again, turn the tables on the debt world. Call now. We'll put a total plan together for you so you can be in charge of your financial situation.
Call him now, 919-794-7900, or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Did you know that for 20 years, Lenovo has been shaping global innovation right here in our backyard? As we celebrate 2 decades of delivering groundbreaking technology, we want to thank North Carolina for being at the heart of our story. Cheers to the next 20 years together.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin producing the program today. Victoria on assignment. She'll be back tomorrow. Joining us now, I don't even know how to introduce David Fleming, ESPN SI, author of A Big Mess in Texas, investigative reporter Pablo Torre Finds Out, which is how this entire thing is arranged today, not through Pablo, but through a direct contact I made with David, because
I was pretty honored the other day when I saw, oh, look, David Fleming follows me on Twitter. I figure he must be a closet Carolina Hurricanes fan. And as it turns out, maybe he is, but he's local. His daughter goes to Carolina, and he joins us now on the Adam Gold Show. Mr. Fleming, it is an honor. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize how busy I was until that introduction. But I'm not a full Caniac.
Right.
I was born and raised in Detroit, so I'm just a desperate hockey fan, I guess. But I appreciate your work.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate yours. And it really was. I was like, oh, cool. And you don't see that every day. But I appreciate you following me, and I won't even know if you unfollow. All right, so I know you're doing some work for Pablo Torre Finds Out, who has been all over everything at the University of North Carolina, as well as other things. I mean, what a year it has been. If that's not an award-winning 2025, I don't know what is. But you have uncovered some, I don't know if irregularities is the right way to put it, but if I described Michael Lombardi, North Carolina's general manager for football, as a serial embellisher, would that be accurate?
Yeah, that's actually. I wish I would have had that line for the show, but I think that is 100% fair and accurate.
So, where did this begin? And he obviously, when you are a serial embellisher, and I think we all know people who will say, "Oh, I got 1,000 emails yesterday." Nobody gets that much, unless you work for Expedia. So, where did this begin with Lombardi?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you. My rule is the faster, if you meet someone and the quicker that they tell you that they were a college athlete, the more likely it is that they're completely lying, right? That it was a club team. So that's a rule that I have found to be almost 100% true. But I remember when Lombardi got the job that made him the highest paid GM in college football, he's making $600,000 more than the GM at Ohio State. So just let that sink in for a second. And he comes up with this ridiculous, which he thinks, you can just tell he thinks it's so super cool, this idea that Carolina is going to instantly become the 33rd NFL team.
Yeah.
And even back then, I texted Pablo, and I was like, I'm like, first of all, this is a ridiculous plan because they're almost two completely different levels of football. But how would Michael Lombardi, and I think there was an F in there somewhere, how the F would Michael Lombardi know what an NFL team looked like? He's been out of the league and unemployable for 9 years. So that was our first indication that he was going to continue sort of stretching the truth, especially when it came to his resume.
I know David Fleming is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You follow him on Twitter at FlemFile. I know I was watching the episode that you were just on in studio with Pablo, and you refer to you bring up the fact that he is being referred to as a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And what I found interesting is that I pulled up his Wikipedia page, and they only refer to him as a 1-time Super Bowl champion, and it was Super Bowl 49, which was, I guess, the year before the Panthers were there, so that was 2014. Right. Patriots, I don't know who the Patriots beat that year, but it was his, I think it was his last year in New England.
He's got, and that was the other thing, this is so strange, but I think it's a pattern with people like this, right? Why would you, he was there, he was on the staff in New England, he was, I think it was some title like assistant to the head coach or something like that, but none of that matters. He was there, he helped, he had input. He won that Super Bowl. Like, isn't one enough? But it turns out, he's claiming to be an executive and a strategist for a Super Bowl in 1984 when he was the staff assistant for the scouting department in his first year in the NFL. And it's sort of true, but not true. And that just made us then dig in deeper and say, boy, what else is going on here? And that's when we stumbled across the fact that he had been let go by he claims a third Super Bowl in 2016, but he had actually been let go by the Patriots in June of that year. And it was 7 months later when the Patriots won that Super Bowl that Michael Lombardi is sort of flashing around and showing people. And it's a very it's a strange phenomena because, again, he doesn't really need to do it. And the fact that nobody would fact check this is also kind of a bizarre situation.
Yeah, I believe I saw the video. That was the ring he was showing Rich Eisen, I think, on the Rich Eisen show that year. Is he good?
Adam, okay, you got to I have to jump in here because
did I get him backwards?
No. If you watch that interview, it's unbelievable. The first thing he says is, "Yeah, Rich, that's why you lift all those weights."
Yeah, that's a Bill Parcellsism.
Right, and it was like, oh my God, if like anybody just even glances at the record, they'll know that you weren't there and you were let go because internally they thought you were a detriment to achieving that goal. And I got to tell you, Bill Belichick, you know, and he did some of this in the press conference after the loss on Saturday, right? This sort of gruff, short answers. He's a big, there are no such things as participation trophies, right? This isn't eighth grade. Then he turns around and awards Michael Lombardi this fictitious Super Bowl ring. It just makes you think, you know, I mean, if that guy comes into your living room and he's telling you he's going to take care of your teenage son he's trying to recruit, it's like, I mean, if you're going to fib about the little things, you'll fib about anything.
David Fleming is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show at FlemFile on Twitter. Maybe this is just the fundamental flaw of Bill in that he finds somebody who, look, I'm not even going to say he has no credibility. He must have some credibility. He has worked in the NFL long enough, even if it's fringy, that he's basically the great yes man. So he validates what Bill thinks. Even though Bill might be wrong about things, he's certainly wrong about Michael Lombardi's ability to build an NFL roster. Is there any significant level of success in that department in Lombardi's career?
No, I mean, we went back and we checked. It's not just that he was out of the NFL and unemployable. And according to sources that I have across the league, he was trying very hard to get hired and just nobody would take him on. And so there's a 9-year gap in his resume. Now think about that. If you're an 18-year-old kid, you barely know who Bill Belichick is. Your parents might. But that means the last time Michael Lombardi was even in the NFL, let alone in a decision-making position, you were 9 years old. So this really is, I think you hit on something really, really smart, Adam. At the end of the day, this is an indictment on Bill Belichick. This is who they brought him in and paid him $60 million, and this is who he decided, the smartest football guy in the world. This is who he decided to run the program. I don't think it's a coincidence that the team is in the shape that it's in today.
And I know your daughter goes to Carolina. You said she was embarrassed by the TCU game. What has it been like for her on campus during this?
Yeah, it was such a for it to fall off the cliff, right, so fast.
Right.
And I think that's a really important distinction. And I think as Carolina maybe has to make a decision, do they stick with Bill Belichick? Do they see this through, or do they just sort of cut ties? I mean, that's the bigger issue, right? Is that this has not the football's terrible, and maybe it's improving, maybe it's not. Yeah. I saw a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes and problems on the field the last couple of weeks, even though they looked better. But at the end of the day, this is about, and I think people in Carolina understand this, right? This is about the school. I mean, they've paid $60 million to be the laughingstock of the NCAA, right? This is about the sort of the Jordan yoga poses on the beach. This is about, this is that, and that's what I think. What I picked up that people were angry about was it's not the bad football. I mean, we're used to that, right? With the Tar Heels.
It's true.
It's that we paid a premium to be made fools of over and over and over again. It just does. There's no end to it.
I kind of dug the mermaid photo. I'm not even going to lie. I thought there was something to that. I think there's also an ego involved at the highest levels of the university, whether it's the chancellor, Lee Roberts, or John Pryor, the chairman of the board of trustees at the time, who really pushed for Belichick. I don't believe for a second, and he could personally dispute it to me if he wanted to, but I don't believe for a second that Bubba Cunningham thought, let's go get Bill Belichick. Not for one single second. And it cost him what I'm going to guess is a pretty expensive suit jacket at the press conference when he cut the sleeves off of it. But I think it's the egos at the top of the food chain here that will prevent them from cutting bait.
Well, then that's a huge mistake. And that might even be a bigger embarrassment than to Carolina and who's running Carolina and what's important at Carolina. I mean, right? I don't think you have to be a genius in business to know that it's a terrible idea to keep throwing bad money after bad decisions. Sure. And if they're not, if you're going to be, if you're going to be a big enough leader to step up and make this bold decision, then you got to own it and you got to take responsibility for it. And that might be even more pathetic than if they're just going to ride it out because of their own egos and not what's great for Carolina. They're in the wrong position. They need to go too.
Yeah, man. But egos are egos. And these people, like Jerry Jones is still the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys because he can't get past the fact that, it's just football. Anybody can do it. He's just disrespecting the entire industry by continuing to make mistakes as the GM of that team. He should just sit back. He could be a great owner, except that he becomes a bad owner because he hires poorly. But it's egos that get in the way. David Fleming at Flemfile on Twitter, investigatively reporting for Pablo Torre Finds Out, which, again, this has been incredible stuff. One more thing about Michael Lombardi, and then I want to ask you about your book, A Big Mess in Texas, which I think there are some comparables between your book and what's going on in Chapel Hill. Do you think, because I personally think that behind the scenes, the university would like to make Lombardi a fireable person, get rid of him, which will either make things better because they'll have to appoint somebody who knows what they're doing, or force Bill to resign, in which case they wouldn't be on the hook for the full $30 million of whatever going away money.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. There's something has to happen, right? Some kind of power shift has to happen. And I think Bill already proved in New England that if it came down to him or Michael Lombardi, that he would get rid of Michael Lombardi. But it's just it will help Bill. If Bill's going to stick around, my God, bring in somebody who knows college football, who's got connections, who understands recruiting and the transfer portal. I mean, if you've seen the Tar Heels in action early in the season, I mean, you understand that they are just not equipped with the players. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bill Belichick could be, he could be even 1,000 times better as a teacher and a coach. If you don't have the personnel, you're never going to rise to a level that I think the investment dictates. But yeah, I think there's going to be, if there hasn't already been, serious discussions about there has to be some major changes in the way things are done and who's running them if this experiment is going to move forward. And at this point, Carolina doesn't really have anything to lose. If they can call his bluff and move on, I mean, how are things going to get worse?
Well, that is true. But there's a phrase, things can always get worse. But I think in this case, you're probably right. David Fleming at Flemfile. All right, so it is a mess over in Chapel Hill, although I do think it has improved. The title of your book, A Big Mess in Texas, is about the 1952 Dallas Texans, which I didn't realize they went bankrupt. I thought they became the Kansas City Chiefs, what we know as the Kansas City Chiefs. But explain to me this team in 1952 and how dysfunctional they really were.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me my next book idea, which is A Big Mess in Carolina. I think that will be the sequel. I appreciate that. Maybe you can help. You could co-author it with me, but so I think there was a Dallas Texans team in Dallas that became the Kansas City Chiefs, and this team sort of came and went so quickly people forget about it or don't know about it. But in 1952, this was the NFL's first attempt to put a franchise in the South and in Texas, and it went sort of horribly, epically, hilariously wrong in like 6 months. And I think they sort of came and went and drank their way out of the league so quickly nobody remembers them. But it's it's like Animal House meets Bad News Bears. It is. If you think, that's why people should read it. If you're a depressed Tar Heels fan, read this book and understand. Yeah, things could totally be worse.
Oh my gosh! Is it anything like North Dallas 40?
Well, there were some rumors while I was researching it that this team was the inspiration for North Dallas 40. And so that just gives you a little bit of hint of kind of what was going on.
That is, maybe we can make this one into a movie as well. A Big Mess in Texas, the miraculous, disastrous 1952 Dallas Texans, and the craziest untold story in NFL history. David Fleming, I appreciate the fact that you followed me. And hopefully we can talk again. And it doesn't have to be about UNC.
No. How about when the Red Wings and the Canes meet in the playoffs? We'll talk then.
All right. Well, so we'll speak in April.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Adam.
You got it. David Fleming here on the Adam Gold Show at Flemfile. We've been talking about what's going on in Chapel Hill for a while. I do wonder, because there's a lot of things. If you watch the episode that David was on with Pablo, it's clear that Michael Lombardi is not well liked by anybody except Bill. And everybody's got a blind spot. Everybody. Somebody that you like that nobody else likes, everybody's got it. Like, why do you like him? Right? Or why are you with him? Like, if all of your friends don't like her or him, I'll bet you it's more about her or him than all of your friends. And it appears that Michael Lombardi is the least popular guy in the room. And he's like, there's no track record of success, let alone at the NFL level as opposed to the college level. And that's where we all are right now. All right, we'll stretch. We will place bets. And I think I got one right this weekend. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Medicare open enrollment period runs through December 7th. This is your annual opportunity to review your Medicare health plan or Medicare prescription drug plan and make sure you're getting the best coverage to meet your needs for the next year. Be sure to review your Medicare, your handbook, and the annual notice of change from your current plan. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 100 counties.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We learn about an exciting new health initiative in Wake County called Precisely You, which uses DNA to transform the way we approach health. The goal is simple but powerful. Help people prevent disease, detect it earlier, and improve health outcomes. Wakia Ellis is Vice President of Nursing for WakeMed Raleigh campus.
With Precisely You, we're looking directly at each individual's DNA. That lets us identify personal genetic risks for diseases like hereditary breast and ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, and even heart disease that might be linked to high cholesterol.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food. Getting the restaurant back open, that meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what do we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. I had a CD back in the day called Millennium Hip Hop. It was one of those, like, people my age will remember, like K-Tel. Like, you would order it off television. It would be like the best tracks of, like, you know, a decade or so. Yeah. Hip Hop Hooray was on that.
Naughty by Nature probably had a few tracks on that.
But no, you would only get one per artist. You'd only get one.
Oh, okay.
Shaq, I Got Skills was also on it. So there you go. That's all you need to know about that particular CD. I think I might still have it, although I don't even have a CD player anymore, so that's in the attic somewhere. All right, we should stretch, Max.
All right, let me ask you something, Adam.
Sure.
Have you ever done an art class before? Have you ever painted anything?
No, I mean I've been in art class, but that was all the way back in like elementary school.
Well, that would preclude you from some profitable dealings here.
Oh, really?
So, I believe this was Friday.
Right.
A Picasso portrait of his longtime muse and partner Dora Maar.
Yeah.
Been hidden from public view for more than 8 decades. It sold Friday in an auction in Paris. How much do you think that painting sold for?
$11.8 million.
You are quite a bit off.
It was more expensive than that
for now. Yeah. Well,
okay.
Well, if you had one more estimate.
$100 million.
Okay, that was a little high. It was 32,012,397 euros, which was after fees. That does include fees, so you're getting a good value there.
Oh, look at that.
$27 million.
Ticketmaster sell it?
27 million euro hammer price ended up with about 32 million with the buyer fees.
Look at that.
The highest paid at auction for any artwork in France this year, a Picasso original. Apparently they had a very complex story, him and Dora Maar, his muse and lover for a long time. But a vividly hued Picasso portrait going for $37 million or so American, including fees. So
was
if
there
anyone
a
is in the market,
certificate of authenticity?
I would certainly hope so, or something to know you're getting what you pay for there, because that is a hefty price.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I did want to mention this because I don't know if how much we'll be able to talk about it, just given everything that happened in sports this weekend. But there's actually some college basketball relevant to the Triangle this weekend.
Yeah.
NC State played South Carolina in Greensboro. Paul McNeil hit a game winner in the final second.
They trailed most of that game.
They were trailing a good bit of that one. And then Duke went to Tennessee.
Carolina won, didn't they, out at BYU?
Carolina lost
at
they
BYU,
did lose? I believe.
Sorry.
I believe that was Friday or Saturday.
Friday, yeah.
And then the other one last
Saturday.
night, Duke went to Tennessee, and Cam Boozer had an excellent showing. He had a double-double at halftime. Finished with 24 points, 23 rebounds, and 6 assists in an exhibition win at Tennessee. So basketball right around the corner. We're a week away from opening night for the regular season.
24, 23, and 6. At Tennessee.
It was ridiculous. It was I saw it at halftime, and when it said it was like 13 points and 15 rebounds or something like that. It was ridiculous. So Cam Boozer, definitely somebody to watch.
Pat Gongba played well. Isaiah Evans had 22 points. Yeah, I mean, they're good players. I'm not sure what level of importance. I saw Seth Davis tweeting about it. He says, it's not. I'm not. I'm not putting a lot of importance. He said, but I'm putting some.
Yeah.
And these are good players. I know Caleb Wilson had a big game for the Tar Heels out against BYU in Salt Lake City.
So if you're feeling down after watching your team lose, and if you're a Triangle College football fan this weekend, you probably did. Basketball is coming. So
the two state schools.
Yeah.
Bring on the start of the season.
They're both looking ahead to basketball.
Yes.
So it's coming. It's coming. We had the first look yesterday, really, of these teams in action. So there you go. Something to fall back on after the football kind of fell short.
Like it. All right.
All right, and now let's go. Let's place some bets here on a Monday.
We'll try.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right, so here was the winning bet. By the way, Elliot Johnson's going to join us in just a few minutes. Like 25 minutes, we're going to talk about the World Series. I texted him before I left Friday, and I said, Toronto wins tonight. They might get gentlemen's swept by the Dodgers, meaning a gentleman's sweep is 5 games. But they're winning tonight. And my pick on Friday was Toronto under 7.5, which obviously did not happen on Friday. But I said also Ernie Clement, 2 or more base hits. That hit. That was plus 370. Clements had a dynamite postseason. Anyway, so we did at least get you one winner. But anyway, we'll talk about the World Series with Elliot Johnson coming up next hour. But that was the only winner we had. But it was at least I give you value all the time.
Yeah, we got one. You got one. We got the good plus money there.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, you go first.
Monday Night Football tonight. Chiefs taking on the Commanders. I'm going to go with Rashee Rice to score a touchdown. It's even money. He had a very productive day in his return from the suspension last week. And by all indications is Kansas City's wide receiver 1 will definitely get plenty of touches tonight. So I will take Rashee Rice to score a touchdown. That is plus 100.
All right, we are going to we'll start with the World Series game tonight. World Series Game 3 in Los Angeles tonight. I heard Evan Cohen this morning on ESPN Radio, and I love Evan. He comes on the show all the time, saying World Series day game today. Like Evan, Booby, come on. Major League Baseball is not putting a World Series game on Monday afternoon, just so we wouldn't have a conflict with the football game. Come on. Anyway, Toronto has to win this game, otherwise we're done. I don't think it's going back to Toronto if the Blue Jays don't win tonight. Toronto, plus 170 something. Over 8.5, because I think if they win, they will get to Tyler Glasnow early and then abuse the Dodgers bullpen. So Toronto, over 8.5. And then separately, a Bo Bichette anytime home run plus 700.
Ooh, he just came back off the injury.
Yeah, there's no chance of that happening.
That's why
plus 700.
I'm trying to confirm this, actually. I'm just trying to stat check because I know Max Scherzer is starting tonight.
He is.
I'm trying to see. It looks like the oldest pitcher to start and win a World Series game is Kenny Rogers, was 41.
For
I believe,
Texas?
It was 2006, so that would have been...
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Who he was pitching for in 2006.
But he's the oldest. I'm pretty sure Max Scherzer is 41 as well.
Yes.
He's somewhere up there.
He's old.
Anyway, I'm going to go over to the ice. It's actually a sports equinox today, so all 4 major professional leagues in action. I'm going to go with a Sidney Crosby goal and the Penguins to win over the St. Louis Blues at home. That is plus 268.
All right, we're going to go to Monday Night Football. Kansas City is a 10.5-point favorite. They are going to cover that, but I'm going to go under 47.5. That's plus 252. I like a 27-10.
I could see that.
Final. Because without Jaden Daniels, I just don't think Washington's going to do much offensively. Kansas City's excellent defensively. And if you want to have a little fun, try like a dollar on Kareem Hunt. 2 or more touchdowns. That's plus 4,000. Kareem Hunt to score 2 or more touchdowns at plus 4,000. All right. In the Wall of Sound, you'll hear from Bill Belichick and Dave Doran and Dave Canales and Rod Brindamore next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcast, and watch every episode on YouTube.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy. enjoy.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
He turns, he kicks, he fires. Swing and a ball popped up. This is going to do it. Left side, Muncie into the outfield, makes the catch. And this ball game is over. Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes the distance, and the Dodgers win Game 2, 5-1. What a great piece of work from the right-hander out of Japan.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin producing today. Victoria on assignment. It was Boog Shambi for ESPN Radio. Got the World Series. It was interesting. The right-hander out of Japan. I mean, don't the Dodgers have 3 of those? Right? Sasaki, the closer right now, is a right-hander from Japan, and that Shohei Ohtani guy who is scheduled to start Game 4 of the World Series is also a right-hander from Japan. Look, they're a loaded team. They're loaded on in starting pitching, and it's the second time that guy pitched a complete game in the playoffs. After going, I think the last complete game we've seen in a playoff game, let alone a World Series game, I think was like 8 years ago. It's been a minute. Nobody throws complete games anymore, no matter what time when they are. May, August, October, nobody does it. I grew up in an era where guys would complete 20 games a year. And they weren't even necessarily big winners. It was just more of a thing. And apparently we didn't care, or like arms were stronger then. But now everything is velocity. Never mind. I don't want to get on my soapbox about why we have no complete games. Blake Snell should have been allowed to complete Game 1 of the National League Championship Series, but he was not. The Dodgers almost lost that game to Milwaukee, but they didn't. So good for them.
A lot of the managers, they kind of have the short hook these days, and then it kind of opens you up to the criticism.
It's not the short hook. It's this is what the book tells us.
Yeah, that's just what baseball is
It's what
nowadays.
the book.
You rarely see guys going past like 6 innings anymore.
So I know as a Panthers fan, and we believe me, we are going to get to the wall of sound here, because Dave Canales will lead us off. But yesterday, after the game, Dave Canales was asked about his running back rotation where he was alternating series. Even yesterday, when Rico Dowdle was more effective as a running back, whether the offensive line blocked better for him, or the plays were better, or the defense was just slightly out of alignment, whatever, Dowdle was having more success running the ball than Chuba Hubbard. And the question was, did you think about deviating from your structure? And he just went, no. I just needed better execution. And all I could think of was, here is somebody who has decided in his mind that this is what I want it to look like. And even if it doesn't look like that, I'm just not going to change because I've already made the decision. It's almost like he doesn't want to second guess himself, let alone anybody else. Never mind that nobody is going to second guess you for putting right now the better running back in the game. Nobody. But Dave Canales in his mind thinks this is the way it's supposed to be. It's just that's the too rigid style that I can't get with.
Yeah.
Like the third time through the lineup, this guy's bad. Yeah, because you've trained him to be bad. The third time through the lineup. Anyway, that's just, again, I'm this close to getting back on a soapbox about it. So let's do the wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
Here's Dave Canales. We'll start there. Buffalo, better than us.
What they did in the run game today, unbelievable performance by them, by James Cook. He had a fantastic day and made some big runs. You know, they consistently owned the line of scrimmage and made it challenging for us. We were not able to get our run game going today. Went to the pass game, and that's where the turnovers happened. And pretty clear story right there. We made it really hard on ourselves against a good team and, made it a really challenging situation for us. So would love to see better execution in those things, in those areas, and be able to move on from that.
So, Max, work with me on this. Typically, when we've seen Bryce Young be ineffective, gets sacked a lot, fumbles the ball in the pocket, and throws inexplicably bad interceptions, right? Isn't that what we saw from Andy Dalton yesterday?
Yeah, we saw it looked like the worst parts of Bryce Young, but without any of the positive momentum we've seen recently.
Without any of the mobility. Anyway, Dave was asked how close Young was to actually playing.
Pretty close. He made progress throughout the week. We didn't feel confident enough to get him out there to be able to do all the things that he needs to do to be successful. But we'll circle back around early this week, and the hope is to get him back out there on Wednesday doing something. But we got to be smart and do the right thing.
All right, let's get to the Tar Heels, who were this close to actually beating Virginia. When I say this close, that's like maybe literal.
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration.
Like if they get the 2-point conversion in the first overtime, which was to a certain extent a gutsy call. I actually think it's your best chance of winning. Tying the game and then going through a second overtime doesn't give you a better chance of winning.
When you're the worst team, you want to take as much of the randomness out of, or you want to add to the randomness, you want to take out the long
50-50
length of the game where the other team can.
Right. The better team, the longer the game goes, the better team will win. If we assume that Virginia was the better team, although Saturday, I kind of think the Tar Heels were the better team. But regardless of that, you have one play to win a game. Yeah, I absolutely think that's the right call. Bill was asked about it after the game.
Yeah, trying to win the game.
And just, I guess, why that versus trying to, extend?
It's trying to win the game.
I mean, yeah, there's the answer. As for the 2-point conversion play, Gio Lopez flushed out of the pocket, threw it to the running back in the flat. Bill was asked about who the intended receiver was.
Hey, Coach, about the 2-point play, who was the number one option on it? It looked like Gio was kind of forced out of the pocket. He had to go to Ben as sort of a check down.
Whoever's open.
There you go. What's wrong with that answer? That's flexible. I complain about Dave Canales not being flexible. Bill's like, throw it to who's ever open.
Yeah, throw it to anybody.
Anybody on your team, which didn't happen earlier in the game. All right, to NC State's Dave Doran. Like, not even lying or, I don't want to make fun. But for the majority of Dave Doran's time as NC State head coach, their defenses have been really good. It's the offenses that sometimes he either throttles back intentionally or they just don't have necessarily great personnel. Their offense has been the best part of them, even though it hasn't always been good, but their defense has been just terrible. And they turned, what was his name again? The Pitt quarterback?
Mason Heinschel.
Yeah, that guy turned him into Dan Marino. And here is Dave when asked about the pass defense.
Disappointing because that wasn't what we practiced. We worked a lot on some of those concepts and it just didn't get executed. The players got to do what they're coached to do. It's 3rd and 18 and one of our linebackers jumps an underneath route and voids his own that he's supposed to be sitting in where they throw the football. And that's unacceptable. And that's coached. And so at some point in time, as a guy on the field, you got to do what you're coached to do in that situation. And it's a great kid. I love him to death. But that's bad football. It's 3rd and 18. You don't jump an underneath route when you're playing zone defense. That's just an example, right? And that's not where loose coverage bothers me, 3rd and 18, because it's down the field routes, right? It's when you're playing on 2nd and 5 and you're giving up stuff like that. That's they got to play tighter. And you saw it in the second half, but we got a lot of work to do. Disappointed. We came out of the bye week, and I thought we'd play a lot better than we did tonight.
See, that's where the anti-Bill Belichick, Dave giving you too much information.
Yeah,
but
every Bill Belichick answer is like, well,
that's Bill.
We're just trying to win. And then Dave Doran is just going on a rant about zone defense on 2nd and 5 and 3rd and 16.
Yeah, and calling out his own players. I get it. Dave did say at the beginning of that press conference that this is also about we have to coach better. It's all about being out-coached too. So, but that didn't certainly sound like he was blaming the coaches. Real quick to Rod Brindamore. So Dallas comes back. Carolina takes a 2-0 lead on goals by Jackson Blake and Sebastian Aho. The Blake goal was just spectacular. Typical Jackson Blake stuff. They lead 2-0 after one period. They give up 2 power play goals. They go 0 for 3 on their own power play. And here's Rod. Why did you lose?
Well, it was, one, they tipped in front. We had a little bit of a miscommunication there, and then that was a good play by them. And then the other one, I think he was trying to pass it, and look, they went straight in. But that's a 4-on-3 that, those are real tough to kill. So, yeah, we definitely lost the game because of special teams. There's no question about that.
So the Hurricanes are 2 for 29 on the power play. You know what that percentage is, Max?
It's low.
Correct. 6.9%. 6.9%.
That is good for 32nd out of 32 in the National Hockey League.
Yes. Michael Lombardi would say that's the 33rd team in the NHL. Woof. Elliot Johnson will join us. We will talk about World Series Game 3 and maybe touch on Games 2 and 1 next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers can't deny who they are. First overall pick at quarterback, 2 first-round pick wide receivers. They're going to be high-flying. Except, now that this little winning streak they're on has taken place, they've won 3 of their last 4. How are they doing it? They're running the football, and they're stopping the run. The same thing it always was, the same thing it always will be.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book and your home for all of your favorite NFL action. And how about this Monday Night Football, Washington in Kansas City. Washington is without Jaden Daniels. KC does have Patrick Mahomes. And you, because you are with FanDuel like I am, you can get a 30% profit boost token on tonight's action. So whatever you want to do, boost it by 30%. Boost the money line by 30%. Boost the total by 30%. Do whatever you like. Boost it by 30%. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, it's Amanda here, back again with my friend Coach Peak. How can compound interest, first of all, what is it, and how can it work against us?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing when you're trying to grow money. It's a bad thing when you've already borrowed money. Since compound adds interest to the interest you already got. So if you're growing money, that's good. You earn interest this year. Next year, you're going to earn interest on your principal balance plus the interest you already earned. Therefore, it compounds.
That's like a Roth IRA in a good way.
Or any kind of savings account where you're compounding. Make sure it's not simple interest. Simple interest means you're not earning interest but once a year, and it's on the principal only, not the interest that's added to it.
Well, what's bad compound interest?
Bad compounding is when you get like a credit card every single month. The interest you didn't pay, they add interest to that plus the balance. It grows like crazy. You've seen that with any debt you have. It's not a good thing.
No.
So again, turn the tables on the debt world. Call now. We'll put a total plan together for you so you can be in charge of your financial situation.
Call him now, 919-794-7900, or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
Did you know that for 20 years, Lenovo has been shaping global innovation right here in our backyard? As we celebrate 2 decades of delivering groundbreaking technology, we want to thank North Carolina for being at the heart of our story. Cheers to the next 20 years together.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
My name is Luis Fonsi. No one should face Alzheimer's or other dementias alone. Resources are available at alz.org and by calling the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 free hotline at 800-272-3900.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. Let me just go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. World Series game number 3 tonight. The series is 1 apiece. Toronto surprised the Dodgers in game 1. LA got a complete game victory from Yamamoto in game 2. And we are headed to a Max Scherzer, Tyler Glasnow showdown in game 3. Elliot Johnson, former big leaguer, Durham Bulls legend, a man who owned Max Scherzer, never made an out when Max Scherzer was on the mound. He joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I want to go back to game 1. In this standpoint, if I had told you before the game that Trey Yesavage would only be able to give Toronto 4 innings, would you have thought they had any chance to win?
No. He looked good, Adam.
I agree.
Pretty impressed with what he was doing out there. He's got some really good, interesting stuff. It's unique. Apparently, he releases the ball from 7 foot 1 inch, which is unique.
Yes.
And everybody else releases it closer to 6 feet. So he's got some interesting stuff. His split finger is unique. His little slider, there's actually what's called something different in the clubhouse. I can't say it on the air, but it's a combination of a slider and a cutter.
Right.
And so he's got an interesting pitch that he throws, and it works really, really well. But, the funny thing was Plesac giving a shout to Barger before the game, and he ends up hitting that grand slam. I'm amazed with as much money as the Dodgers have that Banda is on their roster, much less the playoff roster. So that was really surprising.
Yes.
And I'll say this, the Blue Jays just really ground Snell down.
Yes.
Guerrero working that walk was really impressive. You got to give a lot of credit to Bichette. He's lost out there, Adam, just so you know, from a timing standpoint, absolutely lost. Like every take that he had to get to 3-0, I was like, he's late. He's about to just get his bat blown up. And then Snell throws him like a BP fastball 3-0, and he swings and cups it, and somehow it shocks Freddie that he didn't move, and he ends up getting a single out of it somehow. But they really just ground him down and ended up gassing him up or gassing him out until he just had nothing left, and they had to go to the bullpen. And, I'll give the Blue Jays a lot of credit. Yeah. And Adam Gold for messaging me saying Toronto in game 1 somehow. Nice work.
Regardless. But here, I appreciate you even remembering that, but that's fine. I thought the first inning was key, even though Yesavage, struggled through the second and third and gave up the 2 runs. Because first of all, the first inning, he showed, to get Ohtani with the split finger to lead off the game was, I thought, was great. Pitch. Yeah, very impressive pitch, but great for the crowd. Gets everybody into it. Yes, he gave up runs. The fact that the Dodgers, watching the game in I think it was the second inning, they could have absolutely blown the game open. Might have been the third when they scored the second run. That game could have been over, but they got only the 1 run out of it. And I thought that gave Toronto life. And then they eventually, their first inning against Snell, where he threw close to 30 pitches, that was probably the most key inning, other than the one where they scored 1,000 runs.
Sure. Well, they gassed him out. He'd had enough. He was tapped.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive the way that they were just passing the baton to the next guy, not trying to do too much, just working the count. Kike had a big hit. Pretty impressive line drive up the middle. But, overall, I thought the Dodgers, I was like, there they go. They're about to do it. But Snell had nothing left in the tank, and Blue Jays caught game 1, which I'm glad that they did because it makes game 3 a whole lot better now.
Yes.
But obviously game 2 is game 2. If you're ready to move to there, just let me know.
No, game 2, I think we saw what we were always going to see in game 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think game 3 is the most critical game of this entire series. I want to ask you one more thing, and you're too young probably to remember. I remember it because I saw him at the end. But Jim Palmer was the last pitcher I recall throwing directly overhand. And he had to arch his back to get on top of pitches. In some ways, that's who Trey Savage reminds me of, in that he throws directly. There aren't pitchers who throw that way anymore. It's hard on your shoulder. It's hard to have any staying power throwing directly overhand.
Well, I feel like don't the Braves have a guy like Anderson, I think is his name,
I'll take your word
that's
for it.
really over the top?
Okay.
I think he's probably one of the few ones that's left. I mean, ultimately, it's kind of what's great about the game is it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you're good at it. And you don't have to be like a robot to figure out, what makes you successful. Like this time of year, Adam, like remember Altuve and Aaron Judge being like really popular Halloween costumes. You know what I mean? I like that stuff. That's fantastic. You don't really have that luxury in most other sports, but in baseball, you come up with a way to be unique and different and find a way to be really good at it, and then you can have a career in baseball, but you can't really do that in other sports. It's not going to happen.
Elliot Johnson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, to game 2. And this is one where Toronto probably should have gotten more out of the earlier innings on Yamamoto. And I guess he's the guy who was allowed to complete games in Major League Baseball. The fact that guy who I thought was fighting it a little bit early was able to get through that and then cruise to the finish line. I mean, saved LA's bullpen, which they used a lot, obviously. Well, I guess they didn't use a ton because they allowed Banda to just wear it. But it saved their bullpen, and I think it sets them up maybe to finish this off at home.
Yeah, probably. Yamamoto doing what he does again. Yankees fans, if the boss was still alive, I don't think he'd be pitching in L.A. I think he'd probably be in New York, but they apparently capped themselves at $300 million. Again, Adam, we've had this conversation so many times. Like, what's it worth to have a pitcher win you a World Series game versus already being at home getting ready for spring training in 2026? So I realize there needs to be some sense of value that you need to try to extract, but the boss would have thrown that to the side, and Yamamoto would be pitching in New York instead of for the Dodgers. But here we are. So Gosman against Will Smith. I'll give Will Smith a lot of credit. He's got short arms and just absolutely smashed that ball that he left up and in. He was waiting for a heater, and he got it, and he demolished it. And that kind of was the point when, they were like, okay, enough of this back and forth that we're having.
Right.
The Dodgers, we need to get back in control. Muncy going Oppo Taco. That was pretty impressive. I'll give him a lot of credit. Here's something interesting for while you watch these games in L.A., Adam, for the people watching at home. During the day in L.A., the ball flies. At night, the air gets really, really heavy, and like Muncy's ball is probably a home run during the day.
Right.
It's an F7 can of crap if it's a night game in L.A., just so you're aware.
No doubt about it. It's like a damp air, and it sort of sits down, right? Chavez Ravine. Yep. It's in a ravine, which is why they call it Chavez Ravine. Elliot Johnson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. One quick question about the way Schneider handled Gosman, because I had no problem with it, but there are people sitting at home going, wait, it's the 7th inning. It's his 3rd time through the order. Why is Gosman still in? But, man, he was dealing up until that point.
He was cruising. He didn't get Smith to go fishing. He didn't really make competitive. Really, if you want to tie it to a single at bat, it was that at bat. Okay, so Schneider's right. If he can find a way to make a better pitch against Will Smith, And because he didn't, the game ends up going the other way. Okay, it's that simple. All right. So, that's the difference between winning and losing. Yeah, I mean, every armchair quarterback in the world is going to be like, woulda, shoulda, coulda after the fact. I want more Dan Plesacks of the world that make the call before it happens and put it on Twitter or whatever it is and don't delete it later. But stick with, put your money where your mouth is, put it out there, and then, and then stick with it. Don't wait and see what happened and then pretend as if you were some sort of like Nostradamus. Okay, I had a hitting coach that used to like wait until guys would swing over a breaking ball and then pretend as though, well, we should have been looking for it. That's not a hitting coach, okay? That's a fortune teller, all right? So I get a little fed up with people that do that. It's easy to say afterwards, but ultimately I like sticking with your guy. He got you there. He's one of the best pitchers in the world. Is the upgrade in the bullpen going to be much better? No. And really, the far extreme is Grady Little with Pedro, and sorry to the Red Sox fans for picking that scab, but that's too far. Or Robin Ventura, every time he had a starter going out there in Chicago for a while, that's too far. I think he was well within his jurisdiction, I'll call it, to leave him out there because, he's gotten them to where they are today, and he's their, really, he's probably their ace. So leave him out there.
What you said is the guy I bring in better than the guy I'm taking out. I mean, the only response to the Pedro Martinez thing is at that point, the answer was yes, the guy that you would be bringing in would have been better than the guy, like that version where he was in the game, how tired he was. Pedro thought he was coming out the previous inning in that situation. Yeah. And he was ready to come. Pedro was never ready to come out, but he was ready to come out before then. And then once the competitive juices started flowing, he didn't want to come out. He was never going to tell Grady Little, yeah, you could take me out now, even though he thought he should have been out before then. Tyler Glasnow goes for the Dodgers. He has been pretty doggone sharp. His two starts in the postseason. I guess the relief outing wasn't amazing, but the two starts have been really good. And Max Scherzer. I asked you this the last time Max was starting. Do you trust him? Obviously, since you owned him, the answer is no. But do you trust Max Scherzer in Dodger Stadium tonight?
He pitched great, didn't he? I mean, good grief, Adam. I was like, nah, I don't. And he ended up pitching great out there. So, I mean, and he told Schneider to go kick rocks when he came out to the
that's Max
to the mound. So, Scherzer, the competitor, is still alive and well. I mean, he's a madman out there. But again, my decision is always who would I rather face. And out of those two, I want nothing to do with Glasnow, okay? I mean, he's throwing 95, 98 with cut. His extension is unbelievable, and his breaking ball is almost unhittable unless you're the Astros and he's throwing it. So I think that Glasnow is the better pitcher. I would much rather face Scherzer. He just has less weapons today than he used to. His stuff isn't as good as it used to be. Glasnow's stuff is much better. So I'm obviously picking the Dodgers to win tonight.
Will there ever be a time, Elliot Johnson, where you will not take a shot at the? I'm here for it, but when you will not take a shot at the Astros for cheating?
Well, no. So I remember watching the game, Adam. Okay, we're watching, and I'm like, dude, this guy is like unbelievable. Like if you're throwing an 80, 84, 86 mile an hour curveball, 12-6, I mean. That's hard to hit, Adam. I don't care who you are. And I remember Bregman lined a ball to right field and then went back to the dugout and was pretending like he had something on him. And really it was just a cover because they all knew that they were getting, one if by land, two if by sea. It was one buzz for breaking ball, two for changeup. And so I'm still a little bit frustrated with the fact that they were able to go through that because, those are, Kershaw's legacy is almost tied to that. Didn't he have like 0 swing and misses out of the zone on off-speed pitch that day in Houston? So I get a little frustrated with that kind of stuff because that's the difference between people's legacies being positive or negative.
Yep.
And, Glasnow, his stuff is unbelievable. I don't care who you are. So that's why it stems from that whole escapade in Houston a few years back.
I love the fact that you won't let it go. I do. I am not in any way being sarcastic about it. I love the fact that you won't let it go because it shouldn't be let go. It's clear that the Astros cheated, and cheaters should be exposed forever. I am 100% good with it. Elliot Johnson, Durham Bulls legend, a man who owned Max Scherzer. Dodgers win tonight. Do the Dodgers close this out in 5?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to stick with that. I said it before. I'm going to say it again.
Yep.
I mean, really, it boils down to the fact they just have aces every single night. Like
Every night.
Yamamoto, you know, and here we can go back and do some Astros lore again. He was the first starting pitcher since Strasburg to throw 2 or back-to-back CGs in the postseason since Strasburg
In 2018.
Yeah, you know, so I mean. You know, Strasburg was nasty, by the way.
He was.
He was a tough AB. Good grief. But you know, Yamamoto, his stuff is good, but I would probably rather face Yamamoto than Strasburg. Just so you know, you got to try and see him up. Easier said than done. But they got Glasnow going now. Every time that the Dodgers have somebody rolling out there, I mean, it's going to be electric stuff, and you're going to have to hopefully pair together some really quality ABs. Consistently, because if you go in and out at them, it's not going to be enough.
Right.
You've got to string them together consecutively. Otherwise, forget it. I was really impressed that they were able to get to Snell, but I just don't see it continuing.
Yeah.
I don't. I think that the Dodgers are going to take care of business.
Glasnow tonight, Ohtani tomorrow, back to Blake Snell for Game 5. Elliot Johnson, I appreciate your time, sir. We'll talk very soon.
Thanks, Adam. Pleasure as always.
You got it. Elliot Johnson here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, when we come back, a great announcement today about something that is coming back and back and back and back. Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book and your home for all of your favorite NFL action. And how about this? Monday Night Football, Washington in Kansas City. Washington is without Jaden Daniels. KC does have Patrick Mahomes. And you, because you are with FanDuel like I am, you can get a 30% profit boost token on tonight's action. So whatever you want to do, boost it by 30%. Boost the money line by 30%. Boost the total by 30%. Do whatever you like. Boost it by 30%. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy. You're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We learn about an exciting new health initiative in Wake County called Precisely You, which uses DNA to transform the way we approach health. The goal is simple but powerful: help people prevent disease, detect it earlier, and improve health outcomes. Wakia Ellis is Vice President of Nursing for WakeMed Raleigh campus.
With Precisely You, we're looking directly at each individual's DNA. That lets us identify personal genetic risks for diseases like hereditary breast and ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, and even heart disease that might be linked to high cholesterol.
You can learn more and join our latest conversations on the state of healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Karen.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin is on the ones and twos. Are you playing this in honor of me?
I think it's just because the last song was Randy Newman. It just kind of went to this one. I just stuck with it.
Oh, I Love L.A.
Yeah.
It was I Love L.A. It's a great song. It's an outstanding song, Short People. I thought you were just playing in honor of me because I am vertically challenged, which annoys my son, who is a soccer goalkeeper and understands just how much of an uphill climb he's got. Speaking of soccer, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to read one quick tweet to me, and we're going to discuss this before we get out of here today because I do think it's a topic we can discuss. Because there are a ton of people who believe that this should be it for Dave Doran. We talked about it a few weeks ago. That Dave has done so much that I guess we talked about it after the Virginia Tech loss. That, look, you built a great program. Go enjoy your family, enjoy what you've accomplished, and just kind of go off and be a dad and be a husband and just relax. This is a grind, man. You have done good work. I know, didn't win enough games. I get it. And it's true. He'd admit it. But man, because the question is, if you fire Kevin Keats one season after a Final Four, how is Dave Doran still here? We'll have that conversation in a little bit. Right now, Jon Mugar is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. He is the founder, the man in charge of the soccer tournament, which announced today that it would be returning to WakeMed Soccer Park on a 4-year deal all the way through, the summer of 2029. I hope to not miss any of them because the first 3 years of this event have been absolutely spectacular. I know there's going to be some improvements. First, congratulations on the event being spectacular and getting bigger and better. And tell me why you decided that you wanted to be here for 4 more years, and what are the improvements you're looking for?
Thanks, Adam. Always appreciate your support, and I know you love to come to the event, and we love seeing you there.
Yeah.
It was an easy decision for us just because the community came out for us immediately, even before playing a game. The support was unbelievable, unexpected back 2 or 3 years ago when we started. And so from that point on, we really viewed the community as a partner in the whole thing. And we knew that we were going to keep going back there and we wanted to grow this relationship.
Well, I am I'm kind of a new soccer fan. We have a group chat. We have a whole bunch of Premier Leagues, picks and all sorts of stuff and fantasy leagues. But I am a new fan. It's really only been 5 or 6 years that I've been completely immersed in the sport. But to me, I love fun events. And that's really what gets me more than anything. It's super fun. I don't even think you have to be a huge fan of the game to be a fan of this, because the games are fast. There's a lot of action. And I just think the environment is so great. So, I mean, you and I have talked about the genesis for changing the structure of the game, but it's just a fun event, even if you're not a big soccer fan.
Yeah, that's our goal. So it's great to hear that. And what we want to do is deliver an unforgettable experience to all the fans and all the participants. That's really our goal. And every day we come to work thinking about how we can do that, from launching new traditions to expanding the whole prize, to expanding the competition, to doing all these different things. That's really what we set out to do. Is we want this to be an event nobody can go to any other day of the year in any other part of the world. And that's our goal.
All right, a couple of things that were, the women's event got bigger. In year one, there was no separate women's event. Year two, there was, but it was smaller. The women's event got bigger. The men's event got bigger. There were $1 million prizes on both sides. This year, it was added in as there was like a youth tournament, which my son played in and had a blast. Actually, they got disqualified from it, but we don't have to have that conversation right now, John. It was fun, even though it ended in a disqualification. What new do you have planned?
Oh, there's a lot to unpack there. I
Yes.
can't wait to hear more about that DQ. That did not make its way to the top.
No, they nearly played on Sunday. But yeah, the right call was made. I'm not complaining at all about it. The right call was made. So what new do you have planned?
There's a lot there. Nothing today, other than that we are coming back for 4 years. So hearing 2029 is an amazing thing. And we're going to be there for 4 more years. And we do have a lot of new things that we have planned that we not ready to announce today, but we are going to continue to expand and deliver a greater experience. A huge focus for us, Adam, is really what happens off the field as well. We know that the competition is great, but we're really focused on the food and the environment and the entertainment off the field too. So there'll be huge expansions on all of those.
Are those, some of the things that you have asked for I guess, the town of Cary to make some structural improvement, not structural, but improvements to Wake Med Soccer Park? Are those the types of things you're getting at?
It's really everything. We only come in there. We create our own venue from scratch.
Right.
I mean, it's like a lot of people take that for granted, but there's a beautiful stadium there, and they host a ton of games. But we come in with a completely different use, and we just put our own barricades around everything. And what's good for a single game in a single stadium may not be good for 7 simultaneous games across the whole park over the course of 6 days. So what we want to do, if you go like U.S. Open tennis up in New York, they have a structure that is made for festivals, and they have all these courts and all this infrastructure. And so the balance is really, how can we push the infrastructure in that direction where we can accommodate for our schedule, which is insane and doesn't happen anywhere else in the world.
I mean, it's incredible. You have there are like games starting every 15 or 20 or 30 minutes and stuff like that. And I encourage people, get out there early in the morning for day one and at least spend the first full day there. You'll get, so many matches, and there are so many good players. I watched, Sergio Aguero. I saw Sergio Aguero score twice, and I'm texting friends of mine who are like in this Premier League deal, and I'm like, I just watched Sergio Aguero score twice. I never watched him score a goal when he played in the Premier League, but I watched him score twice, and I was like 50 feet away from him when he scored both times.
What's great is that Sergio Aguero came 2 years ago, you may remember, and then he saw it. He probably thought it was just this run-of-the-mill 77 tournament. I think they went 0-3 that first year. He came back and lost 15 pounds for TST. So came back in unbelievable shape. And as he said, he scored 2 goals in one game. He looked incredible. And people are now doing that. Like the real hardcore competitors are now doing that. And they're preparing, like Carly Lloyd is another one.
Yep.
They're preparing. They love to come to TST. They love to compete. They love to do it in front of the fans.
Look, the whole Jon Mugar, who's the founder, CEO of TST, is joining us here, and he'll be back through the summer of 2029. And we'll let you go here, but the fact that you get whether it's Sergio Aguero or Nani, who comes back, and look, they played for the championship a couple of years ago, and there are teams that I now recognize, and I could tell you like, oh, this is the way they do it. I forget the name of the team who bored us all to death when you get to target score by slowing the game down to the point where it ultimately became 2-on-2. And like people are like, well, you got to change the rule. Like, you know what? There's different ways to play. That's the way they decide to do it. But it's just a great.
I'm sure your son's team was guilty of that too, and that's probably why they got DQ'd.
Nope.
Just boring people.
No. They my son's team didn't win. It was a different team that he played on when he shouldn't have. So they all got DQ'd. Anyway, I will tell you the story. It is quite a funny story. But I'll tell you that in a private moment, although it really isn't that big a deal. It's just the right call was made even after they won. They lost, but that's okay. They knew what the pitfall was by using ineligible players. Yeah, it's all right.
We love the support. Love it. Love the support. Love the whole youth tournament. Love that your son participated in it. So we're just going to grow all of this. So
well,
can't wait.
Anything I can do to help, always. Jon Mugar, founder, CEO of TST. Thank you so much for the time, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
They got it. I guess I should finish the story. So anyway, they had a youth tournament, 7-on-7, faster, smaller goals, shorter games, but super fun and exciting to watch. So his team, which they kind of understaffed their team and ran out of bodies, and frankly, if they had more bodies, they might have been more successful. Regardless, doesn't even matter. So there was another team a bunch of friends of his had put together, and they did not have their goalkeeper for the third game that they needed. It was actually what ended up being a semifinal game to advance to the championship match, and the championship match for each of the age brackets played the Sunday morning at Wake Med Soccer Park, the Sunday morning of the finals. And, like, everybody wants to play at Wake Med. It's an incredible field. Not to mention you're playing on in the stadium. So everybody wanted to play that. So they asked, hey, Jack, this keeper's not going to be here. Do you want to play? And Jack was like, hell yeah. So it ended up being his third match of the day. And they won it, except that it was against a team that he had already played against. And they recognized him. And that was that. And the parents were so mad. You could hear him talking a little bit during the match, but as soon as it was over, and Jack knew the jig was up, and when the match was over, he took off. He ran. And it was too late. They had discovered it, and ultimately their team was disqualified. Everybody had a good laugh, and the team that was wronged ended up in the championship game. So no harm, no foul. It was fun.
It all worked out in the end.
It did. And justice was served, even though, they were upset they didn't get a chance to play in the championship game. And I heard from a lot of people like, who cares? There is that, except that if you enter and you had to pay to enter a team in it, then you don't want to get wronged. So I think the right decision was made. With all of that said, it's not a rewind, but I want to go back to the question I asked earlier, because I have gotten this a few times, and this comes from Rick, who wants to know, and this is more about NC State should be moving on from Dave Doran, and I'm not going to yes or no that. I said after the Virginia Tech game, which was a loss to a team on your own field that had fired their coach, looked completely dysfunctional, and you lost that game. At that point, I'm like, all right, it's time. It's time for Dave to close up shop and go be a dad, be a husband, be a fishing buddy, go to country shows, just enjoy the spoils of your success, your career. And setting up and having the program that NC State has had under Dave Doeren, if Bill Belichick could build that, he'd win huge at UNC. That, to me, is how impressive a performance in terms of what Dave Doeren has done. They've done everything at NC State except win enough games. And I realize that's why you're there. I get it. That's not a slight. They have just lost a game or maybe 2 games every year that they shouldn't lose. And that comes without the big win. Have they beaten Clemson a handful of times? Yep, they have. Do they beat North Carolina, it seems, all the time? Yep, they do. But they haven't won those games. And those would be like in quotes. So that's my feeling about Doeren, is that this is not about should he be fired. This is about Dave should call his own exit. He has deserved the right to call his own exit. So the question from Rick is, if you fire KK one season after a Final Four, what's the justification for keeping Dave around? And I think what we forget is that Kevin Keatts, this isn't whether or not he's a good basketball coach, a bad basketball coach, a good guy, whatever. It's that as a program, if you can't make the NCAA tournament, in some ways it's like not making a bowl game. There are 68 freaking teams in that. If you have basketball culture, which NC State clearly has, heritage, you should be in the NCAA tournament far more often than not.
Well, even setting aside the NCAA tournament, like the year after you make the Final Four, you're not even making the ACC tournament.
Right. Well, but my reaction, because I've had this question several times from other people, is that are we forgetting how much of a fluke the Final Four was? This is not, I am not denigrating Kevin Keatts and the program.
No, I agree. I think people who use the argument that he shouldn't have been fired because they went to the Final Four, I think that's disingenuous, because if you had asked halfway through that first ACC tournament game against Louisville when they were down double digits, everybody would have told you that he was on his way out. And then they managed to go on that run, but I don't think it was any secret that he was on the outs before that happened. So,
yeah, look, the whole they went to a Final Four. I'm like, the Michael O'Connell shot, which just allowed them to advance to the semifinals of the ACC tournament, which kept that whole run alive. Man, the whole thing was a fluke. They wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament had it not been for that. Max, thank you very much. Well done. Lavelle Moten and Bomani Jones tomorrow. I don't even know what else you need.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers can't deny